Yo, what's up everybody, RexEncholada here, and today I have two battles with some teams. These are both showdown battles because I don't have any teams on Wi-Fi at the moment. I'm breeding, trying to make a team, but I'm not used to only being limited to stuff in-game. I'm used to being able to gen whatever I want. And so, yeah, that's why there hasn't been a Wi-Fi battle yet, but they're gonna come, don't worry, the Wi-Fi battles are gonna come. And so this team that I have is, it's just some stuff that I can use in-game that actually makes a kinda decent team. It's not the best that I want it to be, and I also wanted to try out Revile now that it gets Icicle Crash. It's what, like 15 base power stronger than Ice Punch, but it can miss, and knowing my luck, it always will. But that's enough talking. I have two battles, and it's gonna be a little bit long, so I don't want to waste any more of your time. So the threats on his team are the Confagrigus and the Conkeldurr, just because it's a Trick Room team, and everything else is there, just being threatening as well, just because it's Trick Room. And I also have a Trick Room team that I want to try out. It's garbage, but I still want to try it out. So I'm going to lead with my Rotom H as he leads with his Confagrigus. And the reason I led with Rotom H is so that I could Will-O-Wisp his Donphan and then, switch out to Starmie as he rocks and then Hydro Pump and kill it off since his 30 will be broken. But he instead decides that he wants to go out to his Reuniclus, and I Volt Switch out and I go out into my Gastrodon because it's especially defensive, and he sets up Trick Room. So I'm just going to Ice Beam, predicting a Trevenant switch in, and then I'm going to go back out to my Rotom as he sets up a sub. I'm going to go for an Overheat, which is a huge misplay because since I went for an Overheat and I'm lead seated, he can just stay in and keep subbing because he outspeeds me, well, outslows me because the Trick Room is up, and I'm at 0.5 attack, and if I keep overheating, he's just going to be able to set up forever. But luckily for me, he does switch out because his Trick Room is about to wear off. And since he switches out, I get the priority, and I can go into my Weavile, which is a huge threat, and I'm just going to play it safe, just go for a Aegislash. It does a cool, 20% to the Conkeldurr, but then his Flame Orb activates, and I realize this thing is a huge threat, and I'm one of the realest people out there, but I'm definitely not staying in on that. So he's going to go for a Mach Punch. It's going to do 44% to my defensive Rotom. Like, this is retarded. But I know that I can live another one just because of I've been in this situation before. I know how much a Mach Punch would do. So I know I can be able to rest and get off my Chesto Berry. And from here, I'm just going to Volt Switch out. And I'm going to go into the thing that can take this the best, which is my Skarmory. The reason I went to Skarmory over Starmie is because if he happened to have Payback, I did not want to get my Skarmory evaporated and just disintegrated and destroyed. Because I need this to spin, because he is going to set up rocks eventually. So I'm just going to go into my Starmie, take a nice like 35%, which is too much, I might add. And just go for a safe Brave Bird as he goes into Confagrigus. I get the Mummy ability, but my Sturdy is already broken, so it doesn't matter. So I'm just going to start off this I'm going to decide to start setting up spikes. That's what I wanted to say. And this man tries up the Trick Room, and he sets up a Nasty Plot. And this is scary, because this is a Confagrigus at near full health at +2. So after a Nasty Plot, I am going to be able to live, get up my last layer of spikes. And luckily for me, there's 2 turns left of the Trick Room, which means after this there'll only be 1 turn. And this last turn kind of helps it to my advantage because I'm going to go to Starmie, and I'm just going to double out to Weavile. I was hoping he wouldn't predict this and go for Focus Blast, and I was also expecting him not to have Focus Blast because he has, what, Trick Room, Nasty Plot, Shadow Ball. I was expecting Focus Blast would not be his last. So here I'm going to make a stupid move. I'm going to go for Icicle Crash, predicting the Conkeldurr to come in, but if the Conkeldurr came in, it would have died to Spikes and Burns. So I should have just went for a safe Night Slash, killed this thing off. Well, it wouldn't have killed, but it would have got some decent damage off. I get a flinch, which only really matters if you went for a Trick Room instead of trying to kill me off from that 10% that I was at. Or maybe he would have rested and had a Chesto Berry. Well, he doesn't have Chesto Berry because he's leftovers. So what I'm trying to say is I don't know how much that crit mattered. So I'm gonna kill off the Confagrigus after I Mega Evolve and go for a nice crunch, and then it's gonna bring in this Donphan because special or physical wall, and I'm gonna switch out to my Rotom as he spins, and then I'm gonna Volt Switch out into my Lucario on his Reuniclus, go for a nice crunch, and then it's going to kill off the Reuniclus. And from this point on, Lucario does work to his team because the Ghost and the Psychic is out, so close combat does work as long as I can keep a Trick Room from getting up. So he's going to go to his Reuniclus. I'm going to go to my Rotom. He's going to pull a nice double into his P2, but that gives me a nice free switch into my Lucario, but at the same time, he gets up a Trick Room. And all of this is just scary because, look at these threats. He still has a Conkeldurr left. It's guts. It's burned. It's damage that's being done. He has a Donphan, which is strong, but I have a Rotom. So every time he brings in his Donphan, I get a free switch to my Rotom, and then I get a free Volt Switch out because he's not going to stay in because he apparently doesn't have rocks on this. so I can just Volt Switch out. Well, I guess I Will-O-Wisp. I decided to Will-O-Wisp, I guess, to get some residual damage to where Luke can kill it. I don't know. But I'm going to Volt Switch out now after he sets up a sub on the Trevenant. And I'm going to go out to my Lucario. And here I was fully expecting to get burned. Like, I was fully expecting to get burned. But I have Swords in, so I was okay with that. But I was expecting to get burned. So I'm going to go for a Crunch. Take the incoming Will-O-Wisp, except he goes for a Leech Seed. So I don't know if he doesn't have Willow, or if he just decided not to go for it. I don't know. But all I know is at this point in time, he dies to a Crunch. So his best bet is to switch, which means I can set up a nice Swords Dance. And from here, Mega Lucario does what it does best. Like, it just sets up a Swords Dance and just destroys teams. And I don't know if you've been on the receiving end of a Lucario setting up an SD. That is one of the scariest things you will ever face in your life. I have not been on the receiving end. I've been on the receiving end of an Aegislash setting up an SD, which is pretty much the same thing, except Aegislash is slower. So imagine that, except, I don't know, with a threat that's like twice as fast as it, and you get the feeling when it has that close combat that destroys your team, and then you send out your fairy and it gets bullet punched and you can do nothing. So that was that Battle Lucario mini sweep at the end there. Starmie didn't really do anything. So I thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna get some Wi-Fi up eventually. By eventually, I hope in like a week at the very most. And I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a nice comment, like, and subscribe. And remember that you're a rose in the field of daisies. Deuces.